新しく、リング主のベルトをもらえたんですが、タフさはすごくあるな、やる前から思ってたんで、そう簡単にはいかないなと思って。
When Naoya Inoue first stepped onto American radar, most people didn't understand what they were about to witness. He wasn't loud, he didn't boast, and he didn't sell fights with trash talk. Yet, behind his calm expression was a level of violence that boxing had not seen in generations. Fans in the United States had heard the nickname the Monster, but many assumed it was an exaggeration. They believed his knockouts were the product of fighting smaller, weaker opponents overseas. That belief would not survive for long. Inoue was not coming to America to prove he was good. He was coming to prove that fear itself could be learned. On the 25th of July, 2023, at the Ariake Arena, the world focused on what was supposed to be the ultimate test of Inoue's greatness. Across from him stood Stephen Fulton, the undefeated, unified super bantamweight champion from Philadelphia. Fulton was bigger, longer, and considered one of the most skilled fighters in the division. Analysts openly predicted that Inoue would finally be exposed. Some even believed Fulton would stop him. During the face-off, Fulton stared deep into Inoue's eyes and whispered words meant to shake him. But Inoue showed nothing. No anger, no nerves, just silence. That silence would soon become terrifying. From the opening bell, Fulton tried to establish control. He moved forward confidently, trying to use his reach and footwork to keep Inoue at bay. But within seconds, Inoue's punches began finding their mark. They were not wild or reckless. They were sharp, precise, and devastating. Each shot landed with the kind of accuracy that takes years to develop. Fulton felt the difference immediately. This wasn't normal power. This was something else. By the second round, Fulton was already backing up. By the third, he was no longer fighting to win. He was fighting to survive. Inoue's combinations were flowing effortlessly. Left hooks smashed into Fulton's ribs, right hand snapped his head back, and every exchange tilted further in the Japanese fighter's favor. Fulton tried to counter, tried to adjust, but nothing worked. Inoue was always one step ahead. It was as if he had downloaded Fulton's entire fighting style and found every weakness. By the sixth round, Fulton was trapped against the ropes. A brutal right hand sent him stumbling. Inoue followed him, cutting off the ring, landing another crushing combination that sent Fulton crashing to the canvas for the first knockdown of his career. The arena erupted. Fulton struggled to get up, but his body was no longer obeying him. The referee stepped in, and in that moment, America realized something shocking. Naoya Inoue had just dismantled one of its best champions with ease. After the Fulton fight, there was no more doubt. Inoue was not just elite, he was something special. Soon after, he made his long-awaited American debut against Antonio Nieves. Nieves was confident, loud, and backed by a home crowd that believed Inoue was overrated. But from the first bell, Inoue showed why his reputation existed. He studied Nieves carefully before unleashing his attack. Sharp jabs split his guard. Right hands drove him backward. Then the body shots began, each one digging deeper into Nieves' ribs and lungs. By the third round, Nieves was already slowing. His face showed pain. His breathing became heavier. Inoue sensed it. He began targeting the body with ruthless precision. Every left hook to the ribs drained Nieves' strength. Every right hand upstairs shook his balance. By the fifth round, a brutal hook sent Nieves to the canvas. He got up, but he was no longer confident. His legs wobbled. His eyes showed fear. Inoue walked him down, throwing crushing shots to the body and head, until his corner could no longer watch. They threw in the towel, saving their fighter from further punishment. The monster had made his statement on American soil. Then came the fight that nearly changed everything. Ramon Cardenas was not supposed to be a serious threat, but he possessed a left hook powerful enough to end any fight. Early on, the bout was tense. Both men exchanged hard shots, but Inoue appeared to be in control. Then, in a single moment, everything went wrong. Inoue threw a combination and left himself open. Cardenas fired a left hook with perfect timing. It landed clean. Inoue went down. The entire arena fell silent. For the first time in his career, the monster was on the canvas. Inoue rose at the count of 7, but the fight had turned into a war. Cardenas tried to finish him, throwing everything he had. Inoue absorbed punches that no one had ever seen him take before. But instead of panicking, he adapted. He tightened his defense. He changed his angles. Slowly, he regained control. By the fourth round, he was landing again, ripping shots to the body and head. By the seventh, he had hurt Cardenas badly, driving him to the ropes with a storm of punches. In the eighth, Inoue unleashed a precise flurry that forced the referee to stop the fight. He had walked through hell and come out stronger. But the most emotional battle of all was still waiting. Luis Neri was not just another opponent. He was controversial, dangerous, and deeply disliked by Japanese fans. When Neri had tested positive for banned substances and disrespected Japanese boxing in the past, he became the perfect villain. When he stepped into the ring with Inoue, the tension was electric. Early in the fight, Neri charged forward and fired a massive left hook that knocked Inoue down for the first time on Japanese soil. The crowd gasped. For a moment, it looked like a disaster. But Inoue rose, and something inside him changed. In the next round, he attacked with ferocity. He knocked Neri down. By the fifth round, he was dissecting him with short hooks and brutal uppercuts. Then came the final combination. Neri collapsed. The monster had delivered justice. Naoya Inoue had been tested, hurt, knocked down, and pushed to the edge. But every time, he came back more dangerous than before. That is what makes him different. That is why fighters fear him. And that is why boxing may never see another monster like him again. Naoya Inoue's rise was no longer just about titles or highlight reel knockouts. By this stage of his career, he had entered a rare category of fighters who change how the sport itself is understood. Boxing fans across America, Japan, and the rest of the world were no longer asking whether Inoue was good. They were asking how long anyone could survive against him. What made him terrifying was not just the power in his fists, but the calm behind his eyes. While most fighters fought with emotion, Inoue fought with calculation. Every punch had a purpose. Every movement was part of a larger plan. He didn't just break bodies, he broke confidence. What separated Inoue from most knockout artists was his patience. Many heavy hitters rely on one big shot. Inoue built destruction piece by piece. He used his jab to measure distance, his footwork to cut off escape routes, and his timing to strike when opponents were most vulnerable. When a fighter began to slow, even slightly, Inoue pounced. He attacked the body to drain stamina, then went upstairs to end the fight. That combination of intelligence and violence was what made him so deadly. Fighters who tried to box with him were outskilled. Fighters who tried to brawl with him were destroyed. Even when he was knocked down, as he was against Cardenas and Neri, Inoue never lost control. Many fighters panic when they feel real danger. Inoue did the opposite. He became more focused, more disciplined. He stopped taking risks and started taking pieces of his opponent away. That ability to reset under pressure is what defines greatness. It is what separates champions from legends. Inoue was not just winning fights. He was proving that no matter the situation, he could adapt and survive. As his reputation grew, so did the fear around him. Fighters began to hesitate when they faced him. Even world champions looked uncomfortable across the ring. You could see it in their eyes during the stare-downs. They knew what was coming. They had seen the footage. They had watched the slow-motion replays of broken ribs, snapped heads, and stunned expressions. Yet none of that could truly prepare them for what it felt like to be hit by him. Inoue's punches were not just heavy, they were sharp. They landed where the body was weakest. Liver shots that made fighters fold. Uppercuts that snapped heads back. Straight rights that split guards. He did not waste movement. He did not throw for show. Everything he did was designed to hurt. Even when he seemed relaxed, even when he looked like he was simply gliding around the ring, he was always calculating angles and openings. What made his American takeover so remarkable was how quickly opinions changed. At first, many fans saw him as a foreign curiosity, a talented fighter from overseas who hadn't yet faced true elite competition. After Fulton, Nieves, and Cardenas, that narrative disappeared. Inoue had not just beaten them, he had dominated them. He had made them look ordinary. That is the highest compliment in boxing. When you can make champions look like beginners, you are operating on a different level. In Japan, Inoue was already a national hero. His fights drew millions of viewers. Entire cities would stop to watch him compete. But his success in America elevated him to something even bigger. He became a global superstar. Pound-for-pound lists began to include his name near the top. Experts compared him to the greats. Fans debated where he ranked among the best fighters of the modern era. And with every fight, the answer became clearer. He belonged at the very top. What is most striking about Inoue, however, is his demeanor outside the ring. He does not boast. He does not insult his opponents. He does not seek controversy. He lets his fists do the talking. That quiet confidence makes his performances even more powerful. There is something unsettling about a man who does not celebrate destruction, but simply delivers it. When Inoue knocks someone out, he does not gloat. He simply walks back to his corner as if he has completed a task. As the years passed, the question shifted again. It was no longer about whether Inoue could win. It was about who could possibly stop him. Every challenger entered the ring knowing they were facing something almost unnatural. Speed, like a lightweight. Power, like a heavyweight. Intelligence, like a veteran. That combination is extremely rare. It is what creates legends. Even his defeats, his moments of vulnerability, only added to his myth. Being knocked down and rising stronger made him more human, but also more dangerous. Fighters knew that hurting him was not enough. You had to finish him, and so far, no one had been able to do that. Naoya Inoue had become more than just a champion. He had become a force of nature, a reminder that sometimes Greatness does not announce itself with noise and chaos. Sometimes it arrives quietly, then leaves destruction in its wake. The monster had made America believe, and boxing would never be the same.